Friday, we're gonna talk a bit about Q4 and discuss a bit where could the markets go, what could we see coming. And obviously at the moment, we see two major trends. One is a lot of hopium, a lot of expectation that a Bitcoin ETF is coming. At the same time, obviously, we have the risk of it not coming. And I think it's really priced in right now that a Bitcoin ETF is coming. At the same time, we saw this Bloomberg article around the Tether FUD. And I want to kind of address both a bit and give you a bit of my opinions on what's happening, what's possible, and where could this entire journey go. So let's take a bit of a look at the trend here. Obviously, one thing that we did see was we had this run up here at obviously beginning of October, and quite a surprise. Okay, it's a 5-minute chart, so we just saw a dip here. We saw this run up, and this coincided with announcement from Gary Gensler, on SEC chairman, saying, hey, there's a high chance for a Bitcoin ETF in Q4. A lot of expectations coming in. September was a very bearish month as expected. I hope you're following on Twitter my company Cake DeFi. We do every Tuesday, 6:30 Singapore time, a Twitter space, and we discuss not only Cake, but general markets, prices, and so on. So I hope you're following there. We discussed that September was going to be probably a very bearish month, and it exactly turned out that way. Since then, we saw Bitcoin actually going up to 56,000, and now it's been kind of selling off a bit. And so, there are these kind of, on the one hand, a lot of hope. Hey, well, we crossed the 53,000 mark, which was like the old kind of high that we saw in August. And so, there is hopium in, and obviously a lot of that comes from this entire kind of expectation that we do see a Bitcoin ETF. And there's various dates starting third week of October all the way into November, December. And and obviously there is these rumors that the whales are front running the expectation there, and that a lot of price action is happening because of that. Now, a couple of ideas here. I do understand why people expect the Bitcoin ETF coming in with an 80% probability or whatever, 75%. Do understand one thing though. First of all, there's a lot of expectation in already. So it may be a buy the rumor, sell the news event, right? So it may be that the Bitcoin ETF is actually going to happen and then not much is happening. Could be, right? It could happen with some delay, because just because the Bitcoin ETF is happening, it doesn't mean that now, I don't know, all the magic is going to happen. It just means that, an ETF is approved until the ETF starts, until pension funds or large institutions who can only invest in ETF vehicles can then invest. So there may be a delay. This may take some time. So just kind of keep that in mind. I think that's really important. Also understand, if there is this 20-25% chance right now that the Bitcoin ETF does not get approved, what does that mean for the market? So I do think there's quite some disappointment probability in here, even though I do believe in a bullish scenario for Q4. So for me, price-wise, very, very important to kind of get close to an old all-time high in October now. We don't have to break that all-time high, but it would be good to get close to 65,000. I would love to see a new all-time high in November. I think that would be super important for the entire momentum, and that would invalidate a lot of the 2018 ideas. So that is a bit of where I see this. Now, what could stop all this? Obviously, the biggest stopper is an ETF not happening, getting delayed. I think this would really kill momentum. A lot of the hopium would die out, and to me, that's actually the only thing that a lot of the Bitcoin bulls are holding on to at this very stage, right? We see Bitcoin is pretty much the driver at the moment for all of crypto. Obviously, there could also be things that could totally break this. And the biggest one is always Tether. Bloomberg broke this story. I want to be clear here. My opinion has always been that Tether is not fully backed. I don't expect that. So in my entire expectation, this is not in there. And so if you actually read this Bloomberg piece, there shouldn't be any new information to you. And again, I don't understand this philosophy in the crypto space at all, where people always like trust, but like don't trust, verify, right? That's the entire credo in crypto. But when it comes to Tether, it's like, yeah, it doesn't really matter if we actually know that they have all the money. They are saying they have all the money here. They are saying, okay, the lawsuit was dismissed. But it's actually not true. Only half of the lawsuit got dismissed, and it's not the key one. And then the really curious one here was when they made this blog post here about responding to the article, and they're like, here are the facts. All Tether tokens are fully backed, as we have consistently demonstrated. Sorry, I haven't seen a single piece of evidence that actually shows that all the Tether tokens are backed. Actually, I've seen the opposite. I've seen a lot of commercial paper that we don't know if it's backed or not. So again, that doesn't mean that there's any new piece of information. For me, this just means, you know what? Tether probably is not backed fully. It's probably backed by to a certain degree. You need to figure this out yourself. And then obviously you need to figure out yourself how big of an impact would it be if Tether would start to implode, if too many people would start redeeming Tether, and we could discuss if this is actually a likely scenario or not. To me, it's an acceptable risk in the entire investment into Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. And for those of you who don't understand how a Tether implosion would actually affect prices, understand one thing. One of the biggest demand sides of all of crypto comes from Tether. And if Tether becomes worthless, yes, I get it. People would want to leave Tether for Bitcoin, but no one is going to want Tether in return for their Bitcoin. So this entire buying pressure is kind of disappearing. And that would, at the end, if you, understand market dynamics and prices decided by supply and demand, obviously, if the buy goes down dramatically, price goes down dramatically. And I think you would have to calculate yourself how high these chances are or what the probabilities are. One thing I do want to highlight here, Tether is now only about half of the total market cap for stablecoins. So, and then you need to kind of discuss what a percentage of Tether is actually not backed, how big of an impact for the entire crypto market would this have, and for how long, right? Even if prices would dip for 50%, but it only happens for a week, it's a different story as if prices dipped 40%, but for 2 years. So, yeah, these are the kind of things, and these are the two battles that I see in Q4. Not so much the Tether battle, but like the entire kind of ETF battle. That's gonna be an important one for the kind of price dynamic. So yeah, let's see how this turns out. Again, I'm September I was bearish. I kind of predicted September would be a red month. Dead on right. I'm expecting a strong Q4. I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin hitting 100,000. I kind of would think Ethereum could hit 10,000, 8 to 10,000. I kind of think DeFi chain, depending on the decentralized tokens, how all this execution works, could hit $20. All these things are possible for these coins. These are my 3 largest holdings. So these are a bit of my ideas. Let me know what you think about them. Where do you see all these things going? And if there's any questions, please drop me a message and my team is gonna look them through and see are there any ones that we should address in future videos. With this, all the best. Have a good Friday, good weekend. Stay safe, take care. Yours truly, Julian. Bye-bye.